be about.
All right, this is a great thing. I think people apologize far too often. I'm going to agree with you. And I think they're pressured to do it, and I think they do it for expediency. I'm not sure what happened in this case. My take is that Paul Ryan's a friend of his. He misspoke. He wanted to explain it. You know, it's like in the Congress, they have the ability to revise and extend their remarks. In the media, you don't have that ability. But let me give you one example of what I think is gotcha. And where the media, I think, really, they never ask questions, tough questions, I think, in 2008 against Barack Obama. And I think these are the types of questions that Republican candidates will face, and you, if you get in this race. Here is David Gregory with Newt Gingrich.
You gave a speech in Georgia with language a lot of people think could be coded, racially tinged language, calling the president, the first black president, a food stamp president.
Oh,
what did you mean?
David,
what was the point?
That's bizarre. This kind of automatic reference to racism, this is the President of the United States. The President of the United States has to be held accountable. Now, the idea that, and what I said is factually true, 47 million Americans are on food stamps. 1 out of every 6 Americans is on food stamps. And to hide behind the charge of racism, I have never said anything about President Obama which is racist.
And that number's up by millions. How do you respond to that? What advice would you give candidates?
Well, talk about racism. That was a racist-tinged question from David Gregory. He made it sound like if you're black, you're on food stamps, and the president is referring to you as being on food stamps. I think that's racist. And, you know, enough is enough of this calling out this racism, these false charges. Obviously, it's done just to end the conversation, just to distract, divert attention from what the real substance is, and stop the conversation. Here again, enough is enough. Why do we let the press, the media personalities get away with such? Let's call them out on them, and let's start concentrating on what the real issue is. The real issue is we have 40-some million Americans on food stamps. You know why? Because we don't have a robust economy allowing the private sector to grow and thrive and have jobs provided via the private sector, because government has overreached, overtaxed, and overspent, got us in debt, and there isn't enough private sector money out there creating jobs. That needs to be the focus, not allowing David Gregory to falsely charge Newt Gingrich as being a racist because he's making a statement, a fact, about how many people are on food stamps.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because there was an NBC host that said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing, that, oh, we know that you're not talking about white people when you're referring to food stamps. We know that you're talking about black people, that this is a code. I agree with you. The premise, that's their assumption, that's their bigotry, and that's their bias and prejudice. And interestingly, you know, it seems to me that the media that ignored a guy, part of a group that bombed the Pentagon, the Capitol, New York City police headquarters, one question about Bill Ayers, and he got away with saying, oh, just a guy in the neighborhood, sat on boards with, gave speeches with. This is a big issue here about how the Republicans will be treated versus how President Obama was in 2008. And I think it's much harder for the Republicans. So is there something that they should do when they find themselves in that moment?
Well, I think to start with, we ignore some of these reporters and their requests for us to comment and be interviewed. We know going into it what they're going to do to us, to a conservative, so why participate in their game? Instead, candidates need to get their message out via the new social media, via fair and balanced reporters who will just allow the facts to get out there. Don't even participate in that goofy game that's been played now for too many years with the leftist lamestream media trying to twist a candidate's words and intent and content of their statements.
All right, Governor, stay right there. We're going to